Okay. Thanks, Christoph. Dear Heiko, dear Secretary General, thank you for this initiative. And as a neighboring country which shares so many ties woven in history and geography and a projected common future, Algeria cannot endure an endless crisis whose everlasting causes and devastating effects are not the sole facts of the Libyans. Involving the international community in a positive, peaceful role is the only choice as materialized in the Berlin Conference. Let me say Algeria's vision in this regard. First, we have strongly backed Berlin Conference and conclusions, and we remain committed to doing our best to a constructive solution through the Berlin process backed by the UNSC for an inclusive political dialogue and Libyan-owned process. Secondly, since Berlin Conference, we have strongly engaged in supporting the process, including through putting on hold our own efforts that were sought and called for by all Libyans. It is obvious, however, that we cannot sustain a lingering conflict with multiple contradictory initiatives that nurture the conflict rather than solving it, and that do not fit in the Berlin process and the respect of the principles agreed upon in Berlin. Third, the solution to the Libyan crisis must come only from the Libyans themselves, through reconciliation, dialogue, and at the end of the day, through the free expression of the will of the Libyans, comforting the legitimacy of the leaders they want. Libyans need to fix their problem through ballots, not through bullets. Fourth, it is self-evident that this solution must preserve the security, the unity, and the sovereignty of Libya. In this regard, we have strongly welcomed the ceasefire, and we continue to call and act for its respect. We ask in the same time for the quick resumption of the inclusive political dialogue. Fifth, we were encouraged by the partial reopening of oil facilities and the resumption of exports as a first step to provide relief to the population and their basic needs in the time of the COVID-19. Six, we strongly support within the Berlin Conference and conclusions the specific role of the neighboring countries, and I salute the presence of one of them, Tunisia, within the Council. Let me add that Algeria has recently sent a team of engineers to fix the power outages that are affecting the capital, Tripoli. Seventh, I call on the Security Council to make sure its own decisions, and I think especially in the arms embargo as set up in Berlin conclusions, be fully respected. Supporting the UN-led process means beforehand abiding by the arms embargo and not sending mercenaries. This is what we can call a foreign and unacceptable interference that is literally pouring oil on the fire. Eighth, the responsibility of the Council lays also in hurrying up the appointment of the special envoy. 9, we call on the Libyan brothers to engage in this dialogue. Making peace between all Libyans through their multitude is not an impossible goal. It is high time to demonstrate that the supreme interest of Libya prevails over any other consideration and over all the logics of domination and exclusion. Algeria will stand strongly with Libya and will lend a helping hand with all our brothers and to bring peace to a neighboring sister country. We welcome the last statements and stands made by President Sarraj and Chancellor Aguila Saleh. I also want to commend Stephanie Williams' role and Eunice Mill's role in holding afloat the things in a dire time. 10, and in conclusion, let me add that now we need action from the Council and from the Berlin membership, and we need the results quickly. Algeria, and I might say along Libya's neighboring countries, cannot afford a lingering crisis, let to say a failure. We owe success and peace to the Libyan people. We need the relaunch of the political process. That's our responsibility. And Algeria will intends to fully stand by it. And thank you, Christophe.